Hello, welcome everybody to our Thankful Thursday. We're so grateful to be back here in this space. It's been a minute. My name's Rebecca Odell, and I'm here with my co-host, Wendy Brimhall, my mother, and we love hosting these Thankful Thursdays. And this week's topic is all about the expression of gratitude and why that's important to us.
Having a grateful heart. And what does that mean to you? So think about that. And when you hear us discuss this, if you have any comments, please comment below and be sure to like us and pass this along. That's how we can continue this. So we would love to hear what your comments are and we will respond.
Yes, please share with your friends and family. That's the whole point of this, is just spreading the love and spreading the gratitude. So we're so excited that we have this platform and that we have this opportunity. So yeah, so what does having a grateful heart mean to you?
I think having a grateful heart can mean many things, but I think for me, it means having that intention of looking at things from the perspective of gratitude at all times. And it's a conscious effort to do that for me. It's looking at things with your glass half full instead of half empty. It's looking at people with their better qualities rather than their worst qualities. It's looking at situations that may come up in life, even if they're not good situations or if they're trials, trying to find the good in them or the lesson that you're learning in those trials. It's if you're having a bad day, it's taking a moment, a break, and stopping, being in that moment and recentering and taking a breath and pausing and counting my blessings and thanking God for just being alive. To me, that it's that conscious effort. And it does take effort sometimes, but I find the more grateful I am and the more my heart finds gratitude and I'm thankful for things, the easier it becomes. What about you? What does having a grateful heart mean to you, or an attitude of gratitude?
I love everything you just said. I agree with it all. To me, having a grateful heart is being able to express my love and appreciation for those in my life, and being able to recognize that even the bad things that happen, like getting sick, for instance, all serve a purpose for me. And I really do my best to, like you said, view my situations with a glass half full rather than half empty, because it really propels me to keep moving forward and to not get, it helps me get out of depression when I am that way, and make, a bad situation a little easier to get through. So it's just, yeah, like you said, having a conscious effort, making a conscious choice in choosing the perspective that I want to live my life through. And to me, that's a daily choice to choose to live through gratitude no matter what happens. And I feel like it's not always easy to see life in that way, because there are a lot of hard things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. But the more that we do it, the easier it becomes. And it definitely helps to live in service also. So, to me, being of service to others and to myself really helps me to also stay in gratitude, because I feel like that's the point of life. That's just what the
Exactly.
life's about.
Serving
So,
others is, oh,
yeah,
huge, huge.
love and joy, it all goes
Mm.
together to me.
The other day, because I have health issues, one of the things I love to do is bake, but I can't bake the same way I used to bake. It takes me 2 to 3 times longer to do anything that I used to do in the past. For instance, if I bake cookies, I have to keep sitting down and putting my feet up, or the mental exhaustion sometimes, it just takes me longer. So I find I start the process of baking with so much love and so much joy and gratitude going into what I bake. I feel like when I bake to serve, by the way, when I bake, there's nobody here to eat it because my husband might eat one thing. There's nobody else to eat it. So when I bake, I do it to serve others. I usually go and take them and drop them off to people, and maybe to widows or to just neighbors or to people I think might enjoy them. And so I'm trying to make what I cook with love, because I believe if I do it with love, with that intention, there's like almost a spirit that goes with it. When they eat it, I hope they can feel the love that went into it. So anyway, so I start baking with that attitude, but like a simple cookie that would have taken me an hour to make might take me 3 hours, 4 hours to make. And I have this much energy. By the time that's gone, I am exhausted. All of a sudden, I start resenting those cookies. I start resenting my body. I start resenting this big mess I've left in the kitchen because I tried cleaning up as I went along, but I'm too tired now to do that. And I've made a huge mess. I know my husband's going to have to clean it up. I start thinking what a burden I am to him. All of a sudden, these cookies probably don't have as much love going into them as they used to have. And I just think, oh no, this is not what I intended. And so I found that's a pattern that it's getting worse the older I get. So this time I thought, this is not going to happen this time. Since I know it takes me twice as long to do anything, this last time I baked, which was just this last week, I broke it up into 2 days. I thought that was so smart of me. I planned it, and I did half of it one day, and I cleaned up. I even cleaned up after myself. And so my husband couldn't even tell I baked, which was so exciting. And then the next day I did the other half, and they were on the plates ready to go. And my husband came home so he could take us around. And he usually takes me to the door because I can't be near people because I can't be vaccinated. So I have to wear my mask and stay away from people. But he took them up to the door, and they were so filled with love. I know they were. I was so excited. But because they were filled with love the whole way through. But my point is, I was so grateful the whole time through because I was able to keep that attitude of gratitude the whole time, and that love that filled them the whole way through. And I try to do that, but I find myself when I get tired or sick, it's harder to focus and keep that gratitude in my heart. And so it is a constant effort, and a constant training of your soul and your body to be in alignment with gratitude, I find. Have you found that? Do you have an experience maybe you want to share with that?
Most definitely. I think that to me, that's a sure sign that we're not listening. I think it's very important that we learn and develop a relationship with our bodies, our minds, and our spirits, so that we know when we're becoming out of balance, and we need to really understand what we can handle, what we can't handle, and be able to set personal boundaries for ourselves, knowing, and sometimes we don't know those things until we have an experience that kind of forces us to look at it in the face. Like, for instance, you getting depleted after trying a task, and so you learned from that and you broke it up into 2 days. So that's what I'm saying, is sometimes we have to go through that experience so that we know that we need to establish a boundary for our health or our well-being, knowing that when we exceed our energy reserve or energy level or whatever it is, that it will be harder for us to be grateful. It will be harder for us to enjoy our life and whatnot. So, that's a personal thing each one of us needs to develop, and it's only up to us to take charge of that. So it's important that we learn how to, say no and make plans according to, how we feel, so that we don't get so depleted, so we don't get so stressed out, so we don't get so anxious. Because you're right, when we do get drained and we're not listening to what our body needs, it's really hard to get out of that negative mindset, and you kind of go into a downward spiral of, victimhood and who knows what else. So, or pessimism, or criticism, and worry, and anxiety, and fear. So
It's important when we are in that downward spiral to stop and just try to recenter and take back self-control. And I've learned to do that. I've learned, again, just to sit down, put my feet up. And sometimes when I'm in that, I'll just leave the mess and just leave the situation and, or whatever, and walk away. And that is really important to do sometimes when we are in that downward spiral, and that recentering, that or meditating for a moment, or counting to 10, or whatever, can go a long way to getting us back into a positive frame of mind, where we can feel that gratitude, or feel that love or joy, or whatever it is we are wanting more of in our life. For me, I want to focus on gratitude and joy and love of my fellow men. So those are some of the things and that I focus on. And part of that for me is also being humble. I think you were talking about that I deserve, that happens when we get in that. I think staying humble for me is crucial for me to stay out of that I deserve mode. As long as I remember, I really don't deserve anything. If somebody does something for me, it's a gift. And I love when somebody is so kind and so charitable with their time or their thoughts to do something for me. But they don't have to, nobody has to do anything for me. And I don't have to do anything for anybody else. If I choose to, I do it with love, and it's a gift, my gift to them. And I want them to receive it that way, so I don't know. That's what I have to say about that. What do you have to say about that?
I don't know. I think it's important that we all learn and to listen to ourselves and what needs that we have that need met. And, we put our self-care as our number one priority, and we serve and offer gratitude towards ourselves. I know that every time I get sick, for instance, it's usually because I'm overdoing myself in some way. I'm overworking myself, or I'm not slowing down. And so I find that it's usually when I get sick is because I'm not listening to my body. And so I'm usually grateful when I am sick, because it reminds me, oh, you need to take better care of yourself and not push yourself so hard. It kind of just gives me like a little slap on the head, like, hey, wake up, you're not listening. So then I can make another choice and say, okay, I'm going to do it differently next time, so I don't get depleted, so I don't get overrun, so my immune system can stay healthy, so I do, have more energy to do the things I love and and be with the people I love and all that kind of stuff. So I think we need to listen to ourselves in order to really maintain a healthy mindset. And to me, one of the healthiest mindsets we can have is one of gratitude. It really elevates our vibration and our mood and infuses a lot of healthy perspective into every situation. We can start choosing that way of living. So, and then, it's very important that we express from our hearts how we feel towards others, and maybe it's even journaling, journaling our gratitude for every situation we're in. I definitely love to journal as often as I can. It helps me express. So.
You have loved to journal since you were a child. You love writing. I journal as well. I'm not as diligent at it as you are. Do you find that helps you keep a grateful heart? That just keeps you, like you said, in that mindset? Yeah, I do. Yeah. There was something I listened to just recently, a challenge to list what you were grateful for. And I think a lot of people do that this time of year. It's a time of year we like to take stock of the things we are grateful for. And this is a good time to journal that and to actually sit down and write a list. Maybe even more than a list. Write why you are grateful for the things you are grateful for, and how they have enriched your life and improved your life. So that you have a deeper understanding of your gratitude. And along with that, let's talk about expressing our gratitude. What does expressing gratitude mean to you? And what does that do for you? I know you like to serve. How does expressing that gratitude, what does that do for you personally?
I find that when I can express my gratitude to someone else or for someone else or for something someone did for me, it really brings joy to my heart. And helps me to realize the value that others are in my life. Or does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I know that one of the ways I show appreciation for people, we all have our love languages, is by serving, and so that's one of the ways I express gratitude, is by serving or by doing for others. And that is if that's not your love language, then maybe you have a little bit more of a difficult time doing that. I came across this post the other day, and I was really, now of course I lost it. Hold on just a moment while I find that again. I was really touched by it because it kind of spoke to what I do as well. It was a young woman who, I could just tell you about it if I can't find it. I don't think I'll spend time. Oh, here we go. She said that she was new in a town she was in, and so she loved to help her children learn how to serve. She said, I find a lot of peace doing drop-offs to people in our neighborhood, little cookies or craft kits for the kids, flowers, etc., to as many people as I could think of as often as I can. And my kids enjoy it too. We leave everything on the doorsteps or in mailboxes, and I pray it makes people feel supported and seen and loved. We've done it probably close to 200 times, if not more, in the last year. Yet only a few people have ever said thank you. And let's see, or that they get it and will comment at some point that they get it, but rarely ever thank you. She said, it's obviously not why I do it. And she said, so it doesn't really bother me too much these days. But she says, because she's serving as a teaching point for her children. She said that I hope somewhere in doing this, the people are receiving a benefit from it, but she really doesn't know because they don't ever mention it. So she says that I do hope it helps them to feel loved. But that really got me thinking. I actually commented back on her post because, again, that's a way that I express my love to people too. I bake and I drop things off. And in the years, I'm talking years, I have been doing this, and I've done it hundreds of times to, hundreds of people probably. I can't count. But, and I hate to say that, but I have received very few thank yous. Very, very few. And it's not that I really do think that people appreciate, because I appreciate it when people do something like that for me. And I have to admit, I rarely say thank you. I think thank you notes are a lost art. And if I say thank you, it's usually over Facebook, or thank you, when I see them at my church or whatever. But I started thinking after reading this, do I say thank you when people do that for me? And I started thinking, I really haven't received thank yous either from people. And it really got me thinking. I really don't know if what I do even touches people, or if they really care if I do it or not. But I do it because I love them and I want to show my love for them. I'm just curious what you think about that, Rebecca. What do you think about all that?
Well, I feel like it, one, doing service for others, you really do it without expecting anything in return. So it's okay, to not know what others think about it, if they're grateful or not. That's really none of our business. However, when people do take the time to express their gratitude for a service rendered, I feel like it just amplifies everything tenfold.
It does.
And it brings so much joy to both parties. But
that's right. Yes.
I feel like, sometimes people mean to say thank you, or maybe they are thinking it and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful somebody did this for me. However, sometimes they might get busy, or they don't make it a priority to say thank you, and then time passes and they kind of forget, but to me, it doesn't mean they're not grateful, but they just aren't making it a priority to express it. So, it's hard to really say like why people do what they do or don't do what they do, but
right. That's why I really don't expect the thank yous when I do it, because to me, that's, again, not why I do it.
Right. It's about your intention too.
Yes, exactly. And if I see them in person, they usually say, oh, thank you so much, at the door or whatever. However, I started thinking about that after reading her post. I started thinking, if people do thank me, it's almost like that's a gift they're giving me in return. It's sharing your gratitude to somebody is a gift. And so if you don't share your gratitude, it's like having a gift and not giving it in that situation. So sometimes expressing it, having that intention, is a really good thing. I think intentions, to me, count. They count big time. If you have that intention in your heart and you mean to do things, good for you. Yay. You get brownie points for that. Because you're on the right track, and we all need to be on the right track, and we all need to be doing, yay. We all need as much encouragement as we can have, and yay. But if you can go that extra step and actually do, make that follow through on that, then that's like winning the race or something. It's like you said, it's just
It
that's
just amplifies it.
it both parties then are
Mhm.
just amplified. Yes. So I don't know, I found that really just it was thought provoking to me this week. So that's one of
Yeah.
my intentions this month. I am going to focus on returning gratitude, returning thanks, or return whatever. When somebody does something for me, I'm going to return it in kind. I'm going to.
Wow, I love
Yes.
that.
Mhm.
And that kind of leads us to our
Yes. Next
topic.
Mhm. I'm
For-
so excited about this.
For our very
Thanksgiving.
special.
Our next Thankful Thursday on November 25th. That is Thanksgiving. So it will be pre-recorded, just like this one is. Since we can't really do the Zoom live over Facebook anymore, Facebook Live, we will be pre-recording our Thankful Thursday and releasing it on Thanksgiving. But we want to do something very special. So tell us what we're doing, Rebecca.
All right, we're going to have a special tribute to friends and family for our Thanksgiving Day, Thursday. And what we're going to be doing is reading your comments and your expressions of gratitude towards your friends and family. So anybody who would love us to read an expression of your gratitude on our Thankful Thursday, we are asking you to submit those to us in email or text or writing of some sort, and we would be more than happy to feature that for your gratitude towards your friends and family on Thanksgiving Day.
And if you would like to do that by video while we're recording, you're welcome to come join our Zoomcast. Just let us know in your post and we will tell you when we are recording it, and you can be a part of our Zoomcast, and we would love that as well. And that would be just such a nice tribute for your family and friends. So we are so excited about this, and we hope that you participate. So anyway, with that, we want to thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and you choosing to spend it with us.
Yes,
and I appreciate you, Rebecca, and all you do, and your beauty and the beauty you bring to the world, because you just do by being a part of it. And I love you. So I am excited about next week. And I mean, in 2 weeks, sorry about that. And we will see you then.
All right, I'm so grateful for you too. You guys have a wonderful, beautiful November, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
And keep your attitudes of gratitude. Yay. Okay.
Bye.